when the Muslims wish to unfetter themselves from the restrictions of the Sharia and of the Sunnah in today's age, the solution for them is to become a so-called Salafi. As many of you are aware that the major slogan for the Salafi devious sect is the rejection of taqlid. We all know that, right? We hear them spewing their garbage and lies. In spite of their rejection of the madahib of haqq, of truth, espoused by the Salafis Salihun, these deviants seek to bamboozle the unwary and the ignorant by making a false display of love and respect for the ulama and the fuqaha. Yet these deviants lack the knowledge to distinguish between left from right, up from down. It's quite surprising they actually know how to read. But they do not possess the ability to verify and understand the statements of the fuqaha, nor do those who they are preaching to. They selectively quote and skew ahadith and ayats to bolster their corruptive arguments. So, what statements are we talking about? Right? What statements are we talking about? Well, one very famous one is by Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah. States, when the hadith is established as authentic in opposition to my statement, then act according to the hadith and abandon my statement. And of course another one by Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, who's been the primary target for these deviants. Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah has stated, when the authenticity of the hadith is established, then that is my madhab. Now, of course, we've all heard that, right? We've all heard that over and over and over again. It's like they lack the intelligence to come up with something else. But it must be understood, brothers and sisters. It must be understood very clearly that when, the hadith, when it says when the hadith is sahih, it is my madhab, alright? It was directed to an audience of illustrious fuqaha who were masters and experts in ijtihad. They weren't stupid people. They weren't the average Muslim. These illustrious people had embraced all the sciences of the Shari ulum, who were muqallideen of their imams, who were hufaz of hadith, who were experts of both narrational and rational branches of knowledge. They were ulama and fuqaha of the highest category, whose likes did not again appear on earth after them, nor will appear again on earth until the day of Qiyamah, because those illustrious fuqaha, brothers and sisters, those illustrious fuqaha were a band of muhakkikeen, whom Allah Ta'ala has specially created to formulate and systematize the Sharia for posterity in such a manner that no mudhil can ever hope to escape with his batil interpolations and desires. Now, brothers and sisters, the authenticity of these statements are not contested. Those statements which I mentioned, and there are several others, are sahih. They're sahih, they're authentic. Khalas, we're not arguing that. However, neither do these Salafis understand the meaning of these statements, nor do those who they are preaching to. Has anybody ever, looked down and studied a cult? What do cults do? They attack the ignorant. As a former skinhead, that's what I used to do. I used to recruit. I used to see disenfranchised youth. People who didn't understand. And they used to manipulate that and utilize that. That's exactly what the Salafis do. And as an additional note, brothers and sisters, besides Aqidah, we're going to take that out. But if you put the Salafi deviants side by side, their doctrine side by side with the Jehovah's Witnesses, subhanAllah, they're almost identical. The unwary and the ignorant are being unschooled in the higher knowledge of the Sharia, because they simply absorb what is gorged out by these devious speakers of the sect. The Salafis claim to be the followers of the Salaf, yet they slander those who follow the Salaf. So who are the Salaf? Who are the Salaf? Well, they were the Salafis Salihin. Who are the Salafis Salihin? The first 3 generations. And subhanAllah, you know what, just thinking back now, it so happens that the Aimam Mujtahideen were in the last 2 generations. The last 2 generations. Who's the Aimam Mujtahideen? I'm not familiar with that term. Who's the Aimam Mujtahideen? The 4 Imams. Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah was in the 2nd generation. He was a tabi'i. Imams Malik, Shafi'i, and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahimahullah were in the 3rd generation. They were tabi'ins. Yet these Salafis blindly follow individuals who came hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years later. People like Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn al-Qayyim, Albani, Ibn Baz, Bin Baz, Ibn Uthaymeen, etc., 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 etc. Yet they blame us and say that taqlid is impermissible, yet they're doing it to themselves. SubhanAllah. So ask yourselves, brothers and sisters, ask yourselves, who's really following the Salaf al-Salihin? Is it those who obey Allah Ta'ala and His Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam by following the first 3 generations? More specifically, the Imam Mujtahideen? Or is it those who prey on the ignorant and the unwary? Those who slander and mock the fuqaha and the ulama? Those who call themselves Salafis, aka the Khawarij. No, aka dogs of the hellfire. No, even better. Those who will be fighting by the side of the Dajjal, as stated by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in many ahadith. What did I just say? Akhi, did I hear that right? Can you repeat that? What was that? Those who call themselves Salafis, aka Khawarij, aka dogs of the hellfire. And those who will be fighting by the side of the Dajjal, as stated by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in many ahadith. So, brothers and sisters, I want you to reflect very deeply on what is being said. It's not difficult for an unbiased Muslim to understand that it is not possible. It is not possible for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of ulama and fuqaha to submit to the aima or scholars of the 4 madahibs for the past 1250 years if they were actually wrong, if they were in error. It's impossible. If taqlid was in conflict with the Quran and the Sunnah, as these Salafi deviants claim, how could it have been possible for such a vast multitude of ulama and fuqaha to uphold this concept for all these centuries? Interesting. So, can it be possible for the entire ummah, throughout all this time, could it be possible that they were in the darkness since the Salafis Salihin? Have we all been in the darkness? Or was it a man like Albani who just, came around and, could he be on the path of righteousness and rectitude in his denunciation of the taqlid of the 4 Imams? No. Are the multitude of fuqaha who lived in every age of Islam right? Or is this modern Salafi deviant scholar wannabe right? Who's right? So who is right? Ask yourself, who's right? I ask you, brothers and sisters, please consult your intelligence with sincerity, and you will not fail to see the light of Hidayah. Our two final closing notes, brothers and sisters. There is a very high probability that there are going to be two responses and or replies that will be brought forth in response, in regards to this video. And I've started thinking about this, brothers and sisters. What two responses would I most likely get? Well, I'm going to share those with you. The first one I will more than likely get is, Akhi, how dare you? How dare you speak of other Muslims like this? So my response to that is what? How dare I what? How dare I what? Tell the truth? Is it not the rule of thumb in the Sharia to always speak the truth, even if it be against your own self or another? Really? I mean, there's only 3 times that you're allowed to lie, and this isn't one of them. And the other one that I'll more likely get, I believe is going to have a greater chance of appearing, is, Ahi, we should be trying to unite the Ummah, not creating even greater barriers between us. Hence this video is it's not helping, Ahi. It's hindering this process. Well, my direct response to that would be, let me see about that. I didn't create the divisions in the Ummah. I'm not responsible for the hundreds of thousands of Muslims who deviated from the path of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm just merely pointing out fact. That's all I'm doing. I'm merely pointing out fact. And I'm speaking the truth. But my counter-argument to that response can be really encompassed into one question. Is it not more beneficial to unite on truth than on falsehood? That gives you something to think about. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.